Ain't got nothing fancy for y'all today. Let me see if I can turn the music down a little bit. What's up with y'all today, man? What's going on? This is gonna be a heavy chat show, so if you want to talk a little bit, what up, CFO? What up, my guy? What up, Tuck? What's going on? What's up with everybody, man? My guy Tuck in the building, or should I say, Jordan Michael Tucker? My man had the epiphany. My man had the epiphany that he about to go crazy with this thing. So I appreciate it, man. Appreciate all that you do. Appreciate everything that everybody does, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I ain't have nothing I ain't got no script. I don't got nothing really other than I just wanted to get the pulse of everybody, like, and where they are right now. I was talking to Boss yesterday, and I said, you know what, man? Might be time for me to make a little bit of a comeback, man. Just simply because I just don't like where everything is. I just don't like where everything is. What's up, John Jones? My guy, JC. What up with you? Oh man. Yeah. I don't like the landscape of things. I don't like how things are looking right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the somber moods. I don't like the division amongst people that were once close. And it just seems like this season, it seems like the season is just driving a lot of people apart. What's up, Matthew? What's going on, man? The poll says we're going to lose on Monday. Get ready for draft talk. And see, here's the thing, right? And I'm gonna preface this, right? Again, like, my choice was my choice to kind of do and feel how I wanted to feel. But with that being said, I I I don't like what it's doing to us people. I kind of feel like the drama, or the need for drama, the adrenaline is just has just made everything crazy. And I don't think that people really understand how attached to drama, that they've really become. You know what I'm saying? Like, when there's nothing to talk about, when there's not a player to bash, like when there's not a content creator to bash, all these things, when there's not a storyline, it's like us content creators, us fans, we've been creating that amongst ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And when I say ourselves, like, I'm still deep in, you know what I'm saying? Like, my sister I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she was just like, it don't matter what you say, bro. You can talk about you're not a fan this, you're not a fan that. 30 years, it just don't go away like that. And she's absolutely right in what she's saying. Where 30 years, like, some of these bonds that I've built with some of you all, I still have an interest. And as crazy as it sounds, I still have an interest in this team winning. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see this team lose. I'm not hoping that things go bad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like I said last week, I made a joke, and I could just kind of tell because of how the landscape of things has gone for this fan base. And it was just like, well, you ain't a fan. That's how it was going. Well, this is what you want, right? You said you're not a fan no more, right? No, that's not what it is. I At the end of the day, that type of reaction is what I wanted to get away from. And it's like, I'm gonna sit here and ask you guys. I'm gonna ask the people that are watching, the people that consume what it is for Cowboys talk, the people. I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you guys need out of this season? Like, what is it that you want out of this season? What are your goals? Like, I really, what I wanted from this sit down right here was just to kind of get a feel of what it is everybody wants out of this thing, right? And I ultimately know that everybody wants this team to win, right? Everybody's gonna fake like they want this team to win. Everybody. Hear me. Let me know if can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me now? I be hating when this does this. It's a great mic, but it just be it be going out sometimes. Let me know if y'all can hear me. It should be good to go now. Y'all let me know. Throw some ones in the chat if y'all can hear me. Trent said, okay. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So I was kind of getting at like, even when this team wins or there's a good week, it's, oh, I told you this. Well, I told you that. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, just looking for a reason to create arguments amongst each other and fight and fight and fight and fight and fight. So ultimately, it can't even be just about the team wanting to win. It's really ultimately about people wanting to argue, wanting to find something to bitch about. Yeah, there was no way around. Look, for the people that know me, for the people that really rock with me and talk with me all the time, y'all know I don't sugarcoat talk. I don't sugarcoat this stuff, right? I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and sometimes it's going sometimes it's going to be vile language. Sometimes it is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what football is. I had a great discussion. I think it was yesterday. Sometimes I'll call sis, right? Aisha Morrison. I'll call her. I have phone conversations with these people all of the time. These people. One of them is J Tuck. You know what I'm saying? I talk to J Tuck all the time. Hell, I had a long conversation. My bad. That was my fault this time. I kind of feel I think there's something on this microphone where if I touch a button, I think it goes out. I might have figured out what it is, y'all. But look, I had a conversation with JC, JC and Jazz, mostly JC, the other day. I think it was last Saturday. It might have been last Saturday. I was going on my walk. I talked to him and his wife for about 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Tuck. I talk to Tuck and Rome every day. I talk to Rio every day for the Commanders. And Aisha, I probably talk to Aisha. Maybe it's at least once a week. And if it's not once a week, then But those people, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I talk to Boss Cowboy a lot too. Boss is my boss. Is Hey, look, Boss is my dude. I talked to Boss for a long time yesterday. And with this, I talked to Boss and I was like, man, bro, I just don't like where it's at right now. I don't like that it's like you got to create arguments in order to feel like you're creating some kind of a content. You know what I'm saying? There used to be a time where everybody wanted to work together. There used to be a time where people wanted to work together. I think Rome said it. Tuck, we talked about it in our convo the other day, and kill you guys can kill me later, but I'm gonna say this. Last year, no, 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, it was 2 years ago for the Cowboys Eagles game, where that game was so big for both teams. I think we, as the Cowboys Nation, were trying to rally the troops because we knew how important the game was for Dallas to win the division. and we were trying to catch Philadelphia. And it was a Sunday night game. A lot of us flew into town. A lot of people flew into town. There were a lot of people that are there already. Lot 10 was lit. And we just had this brotherhood. We had this bond. And there was a time where being a content creator and a fan, it went hand in hand. And I'm not saying that everything is kumbaya. Not what I'm saying at all. But there was a level of respect in what it, amongst each other. You know, Rome went back and watched a lot of that content, just talked about how organic it was. Talked about how organic everything is. That that's a term right there, organic, where you don't gotta fake the funk. It just naturally comes together. And if you were there, or if you followed when we were there, if you followed Boss or Law, hell, they showed up with the cameras. Like I know me, Tuck, and Rome. Sometimes we don't need the cameras, but the people that showed up was like Sky popped out, Law popped out, Boss, Margarita Mary. I don't know that Nick's popped out, but I did. I think I saw Nick's when he was out there. I think he might have been in that picture. I can't remember. Aisha was there. What's the chick's name from Bitches Love Sports, BLS? I forget what her Jazz. Jazz was there. It was so much star power there. And we weren't there for content purposes like that. We weren't there to get money. We were there because we genuinely rocked. We genuinely rocked with each other. Mike Tagg was there. Met Mike Tagg in person. Great guy. You know what I'm saying? Great guy. Like when I met Mike Tagg, I felt like it was kind of weird. When I met Mike Tagg at Lot 10. And when I met him, I was so starstruck because I'm like, you the guy that be giving all the pep talks and all that stuff. Give all the pep talks. And I'm like, wow, like he right here. Only to find out he felt the same way about me. And that's how it was. Then this is just 2 years ago, right? It was just 2 years ago. And I'm not saying that content creators are bad now. Not saying that at all, because I think that a lot of people put a lot of legwork in this thing. They put a lot of legwork in, and it takes a lot to get in front of a camera or to create a movie, a short, or whatever it is. It takes a lot to be able to do that. It takes an awful lot to be able to do that. So I'm not downing anybody. Not downing nobody for going out there and being brave enough to do what it takes to do this stuff. Because quite honestly, y'all, in my discussion with Aisha, I was like, I don't know that I want to do this anymore. I was like, I don't know that I want to do this anymore. I talked to Tuck, I talked to Rome, and ever since my uncle passed, I was like, creating content for me is just not that important. You know, with how things are going right now, with how things are moving, I just don't like. I just don't like. It seems like there's clicks here, there's clicks there. It just seems a lot more phony. You know what I'm saying? And so, what Rome was able to do the other day was make me remember what it felt like during that time 2 years ago, where everything was just organic. And no matter how you slice it, I've been like this. Well, I'm just gonna rock with the people that's gonna rock with me, and likewise, and we're gonna reciprocate off of each other, right? And that's how it's been. But maybe right now, maybe that's not the way to go about it. Maybe it seems like with that, DMV's being standoffish, or it might seem like I'm standing over in the clique over here and all of that type of stuff. Where, quite frankly, man, I just want to talk football. talk to some good people, and go home. And it don't even necessarily got to be all good, like roses this, roses that. Like there will be some disagreement. What I'm saying right now is, it seems like going and being the contrarian is the route that a lot of people are doing, where it's like, I'm trying to think different. I'm trying to be over here. Like I ain't trying to be like everybody else. The term group think, you know what I'm saying? It's being brought up, and it's just like, if you get so many people trying to be different, you're gonna get even more divided. You know what I mean? And so I think during that time, it was a time where, and with this content creation thing, make no mistake, I think Tuck before has compared it to rap. You know what I'm saying? Compared it to rap, to where it's very competitive. It's competitive, right? And although we're brothers and sisters in this thing, at the end of the day, it's still, you run your own channel. You still have your own entity. And if you're not moving, if you're not, if you're not, I guess, evolving, then you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. You're gonna get lost in this thing. You know what I'm saying? If you're not constantly getting better. And that's why a guy like JC, when he came in this space, he made it so that me and Tuck, we had to step our damn film game up. And I tell him that all the time. I tell JC that, bro, when you stepped on the scene, listen, bro, it was like a big boom. You know what I'm saying? And it upped the ante of what it is to watch film and break it down and present it to the fan base. You know, I think today, and I don't want to necessarily call it lazy content, because there is room for that. There's room for just talking. You don't have to have played football. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to have played football in order to be able to talk it or talk about the team. I just think that the creating the division part is stupid, because ultimately, if everybody wants this team to win, then you know what I'm saying, however you do it should, you know what I'm saying, shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't matter. I think that I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm saying per se, because I just got on here and I just said I'm gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully, it be fan driven, and if people got questions or whatever. But ultimately, I think Tuck said it best, right? And I'm gonna go back up to that comment. I probably should have started, but it was like, make content great again or something like that. we gonna we gonna trump this thing. But ultimately, this fan base needs to get back to where I think that Cowboys football was best when the content was best. I think that when you're starting to get to the point where it's not pushing football wise, I think that that's where you allow this front office to win. And I'm going to say, and look, if I got to start a war against the front office, I will. But ultimately, and I almost did this title, like the real something along the lines of where the Cowboys made their mistake. I talked about it last week, but we got a lot of people watching right now. We got a lot of people watching right now, and I'm gonna straight up tell you where they made their mistake. But if you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button, man. Hit that like button for your boy. Hit the like button, and you know what I'm saying. I'll straight up tell you where the Cowboys messed up They met it was not the Micah Parsons trade, although that helped. That helped. It's not the Trayvon injury, although that helped. It's not signing Osa to a huge ass deal just to be average. Nah, that but that helped. All right, a whole bunch of things helped. I'm gonna tell you where they messed up. When Dan Quinn became the Commanders' head coach, and even before then, you had to know DQ had interviewed the year prior and decided to stay, right? He decided to stay, and you lucked up. And when DQ decided to come back, you needed a contingency plan for if he was getting scooped up again. Now, I do know this, right? I have, for my job, I remember reading this article about if you're at a job and you're asking for more money, right? They won't give it to you, but you go interview somewhere else. And if they're offering you what you want money wise, and you come back to your job and say, hey, I want this amount of money, right? If your job obliges to that, for one, you're going to have to fight for that. But if they do up your salary, two things happens. Number one, you look at it like, man, y'all could have just done this. Y'all could have just done this when I asked y'all the first time. But then I had to go out and go find something else. So it makes you not trust them on that end. But on the other end, they're going to try and make you feel guilty because they paid you more. And it's going to create a strain and you're going to end up leaving anyway. And there's like a certain percentage of people who end up leaving in that certain scenario. So what I'm saying with that is when DQ came back, you a timetable had started already. Like either DQ was gonna go out and the defense was gonna play balls to the wall and they was gonna kill, and he was gonna be up for interviews again. Or the defense was gonna take a step back and y'all were gonna look at him and he was gonna feel disgruntled because he had the opportunity to go take jobs elsewhere, but y'all on him when he came back and did y'all a favor. Does that make sense? So when I look at that, I'm like, how don't you have a plan in place? You had a plan in place. You had a contingency plan. You had one. But you fumble. You fumbled it. You know what the contingency plan was? Sir Al Harris. That was your contingency plan. In the back of your mind, you had to know, I can't let that guy leave this building. I can't ever let this guy leave this building. And y'all didn't let the guy leave the building because they tried to get him in Washington when DQ left, and you put a block on that. So it's like, why put a block on that if y'all was never going to put him and make him the defensive coordinator? That probably created a rift in itself. That probably created a rift. I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that a rift was created when that happened. And so from it's not from what I understand, but I'm just putting two and two together. You as the front office, my guy Tuck, we needed a defensive Kellen Moore. Absolutely. And I don't even say a Kellen Moore. Well, yeah, no, you did, for sure. And I'm gonna tell you, when I get into this, I'll tell you why Al Harris made the most sense. But When DQ leaves and he takes Witt with him, who that probably was y'all dumbass plan. It may or may not have been your dumbass plan. But regardless, right? Takes Witt with him, tries to come get Al Harris, and you put a block on that. Mike McCarthy needed to make that his defensive coordinator. You want to know why? Mike McCarthy, you know why you needed to make that your defensive coordinator? Because you needed somebody in that building that had your back. Al Harris was your guy. And I know for a fact Mike McCarthy did not fight for Al Harris to be that DC, which made no sense, right? I don't understand it. But Mike Zimmer was brought in. Now, when you guys look at the schematics of this thing, right? Do y'all think Mike Zimmer was going to have more of an allegiance to Mike McCarthy? Or was he going to have more of an allegiance to the organization? I know y'all ain't stupid. Y'all know where his allegiance was going to lie. And I love Mike Zimmer. I thought Mike Zimmer should have been interviewed to be the head coach. I thought Mike Zimmer did wonders on the back half with that defense. Hold on. So you came in here late. And that's fine. You said I thought I was done talking about the Cowboys, and that's cool. I said I don't like where things are going with the fan base. I don't like the division. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a brief comeback, and I talked to Boss Cowboy about it, and you know, I'm at a place now where I feel that I should talk Cowboys. It don't got nothing to do with views, numbers, nothing like that. Like I said, something happened in my life, and I felt the need to step away. You know what I'm saying? I felt the need to step away, and I feel like you can do that sometimes. Sometimes you need to step away from things, and it is what it is. But I was reminded the other day with Rome about how organic it was amongst us fans, amongst us people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I can flip flop all I want. Take your ass on somewhere. Look, I don't need you. It is what it is. Take your ass on somewhere else that ain't flip flopping. It's probably a troll from somebody. It's probably a content creator from somewhere else. But that's beside the point, right? I'm gonna get back to my point. So when Al Harris was right there, it made more sense to say, okay, we got a young guy that if he, for one, he has the trust of the back end. We already know that. He's helped create all pros there. I'm pretty sure he can get this defense to buy in. Now we can give him some rope. We can give him a little bit of rope. We can get a young guy some rope, but we have some players here and we can build this thing. You know what I'm saying? We could build this thing. That's ultimately what it came down to. I think the Cowboys needed a young. So when Tuck says the Kellen Moore thing, when he says that, he's right. Because with Kellen Moore got a lot of rope. He got a lot of rope, and he learned on the job, and he did a good job in Dallas. We might not have always agreed with what Kellen Moore did, but for the most part, Kellen Moore did a good job. And ultimately, his offenses were pretty good. So when you say you needed a defensive Kellen Moore, you needed somebody that was going to hold things in place. You know what I'm saying? You needed somebody. What's up, Philadelphia? That's my guy right there too. And look, I'll answer that. I'll answer that when I get past this Al Harris thing. So with Al Harris, you have a disgruntled Al Harris. So tell me which room right now. Y'all tell me what position group on the defense is the most disgruntled. I'll wait for the comments. I'll wait for the comments on that one. But It's night and day with this group. Night and day. You know what I'm saying? Philadelphia is hilarious. Hey, bro, where you come from, dog? Hey, look, I didn't even talk about the Eagles. My man just said, "Hey, I saw my man DMV is on live." By the way, I'll be at Mark Holmes' house tomorrow. I think if I should be at Mark's house tomorrow. But look, since nobody commented it, the D-backs, the D-backs, that was the group. They're the most disgruntled. You know what I'm saying? They're the people that have the issues. Those people. So, then you trade Micah. You trade Micah, which was in the plans all along. It was in the plans all along. Nobody can tell me different. Because I'll even say this, right? And I know there'll be people like, stop talking Micah. You're always talking to Micah. You're always bringing up Micah. Why are you bringing up Micah? Let it go. Let it go, DMV. Let it go, Tuck. Let it go, Rome. Stop talking Micah. Here's the thing, y'all. The Green Bay Packers, I think, are the 6th rated defense in the league. They are number 3 against the run. I think they're like middle of the pack. I think they're like 15th against the pass. Their back end is kind of shaky, but they get after the quarterback. I think Gary is 5th in the league in sacks, and Micah is 6th. So they're sitting right there. So they get after the quarterback, but they're stopping the run. They didn't look as good against Dallas stopping the run or Cleveland, but typically amongst the league, I think they're giving up 78.5 rush yards a game, and they're 3rd against the run. Somebody told me that somebody told the Cowboys fan base that that move was all about stopping the run. And so when you ask, well, why is Green Bay number 3 against the run? When you ask that question, then it's, well, Micah has stuff around him. Listen to yourself when you say stuff like that. Well, Micah has stuff around him. 3 out of the last 4 years, the Cowboys have picked up an edge in the draft. And I'm going to keep reiterating that. We're at that spot, right? Maybe you get a better interior defensive player. You know, maybe you get another corner. I don't know. Maybe you build around Micah. If you look at his whole tenure in Dallas, they never built around Micah Parsons. They didn't build around him. That's not what they did. They built for his replacement. They spent more time building for when he was going to depart than they did for his time in Dallas. Now, you ask this question, and people will say this, right? I was just talking about this with my cousin yesterday as we were trick-or-treating with the kids. I said, he said, well, Dallas couldn't afford to pay him. And I said, bro, what you mean? They had 4 years to build around him when he had his rookie deal. Same thing with Dak on offense. Like, oh, he's too expensive. You know, he's too expensive. They can't afford to do that and build. So what the hell was you doing when they was on their rookie deals? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell was you doing on their rookie deals? This is a good comment right here. If you notice, the Cowboys are never solid on offense and defense at the same time. Jerry does this on purpose. I'm just going to say this, bro. They're never solid on defense. They're never solid on defense. Even when the defense was good, in the back of your mind, you knew that the defense was really soft. You knew You had that feeling. You can't tell me otherwise. You knew that a team was just going to run all the time. You knew they were just going to run at Dallas. And it's like, why? I'm going to tell you why. This is exactly why they should have hired Al Harris. You look at the last, I think, 10 years. I think they've had 7 defensive coordinators, bro. 7 defensive coordinators in 10 years, yo. 7. I might be wrong. If it ain't 7, it's 6. Either way, that's so many different philosophies. So many different, and most of the time it was somebody from a different tree, or it was somebody with it was an old guy with their old ways. You know what I'm saying? It was always something different. It's like you get a lot of guys that get lost in the shuffle. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily lost in the shuffle, but it's like, all right, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. You know, the first 3 years in the league, you're supposed to be finding who you are as a player. Like Bill Parcells said this. After 3 years, we know who you are. Damn. Suds is on it right now. Jerry conditioned the fans to blame everyone but him. Yeah, fact. That's why I think somebody said, can we move on? Cowboys Thanos said, can we move on? And bro, let me tell you something. This is why you can't move on so quick. This is why I couldn't move on so quick. Somebody was like, I'm flip-floppy because I'm talking Cowboys right now. You can't just move on from something that is that happened bad in your life without really addressing what it was. Or else in the long run, it's going to keep showing up. It's going to keep showing up. It's going to keep showing up until you deal with it. Dallas right now can't really deal with it until a draft. And the defense is so bad that you got to talk about it. The defense is so bad, you have to talk about it. You can't move on because the defense is a turnstile. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't move on from it because it's that bad. You have to continue to talk about it until they fix it, until they come up with solutions. Ooh, Miami lost. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So that's why Al Harris should have been the guy, because you needed to say at some point defensively, we have to build a continuity somehow. And I think Al Harris was just enough to keep that room bought in. And then you say, you know what, Al, you've done such a great job for us. What is it that you need to build this defense? What is it that you need to build this defense? I think somebody said it, D'Amico Ryans. He was your D'Amico Ryans. You know what I'm saying? He was your D'Amico. And you know that it's a thing that it's gonna take years. It's gonna take years, but you let your young guy build what it is on that side. You let your young guy build what it is on that side. You say, Al, you're our guy. But here's the thing: Al wasn't their guy. He was McCarthy's guy. But that's why McCarthy should have backed him. Because, hey, bro, if I'm gonna go out my way with guys that I trust. You let somebody else in the building who I think Zimmer did a good job being an assistant coach. He so he was a head coach, but I also think that Zimmer did a good job coming in here and being an assistant. So I'm not saying that Zimmer was out for Mike to get fired. I think Zimmer did his very best on 1 year, because he had a 1-year deal too. He had a 1-year situation in Zimmer. So I think that he put his very best foot forward. And I commend Zim. You know what I'm saying? I commend him big time for that. But I think that they messed up. You know what I'm saying? So Philadelphia asked me a question. He said, what is your point? Last 30 years and counting. What's your opinion on Cowboys failures and whose fault is it? It's Jerry, bro. It's Jerry. 100% Jerry. You know what I'm saying? Problem is, the Cowboys extended 2 QBs in Romo and Dak in their 8th year and couldn't build around Dak and Romo big boy contract extensions the last 20 plus years. And so I'm going to ask you this question, Philadelphia. Why is it that Philadelphia could build around Jalen Hurts and Jalen Hurts got his extension and got a big boy contract? Why is it that Philadelphia could do that? You know what I'm saying? It's because Howie is GMing for his life every year. You know what I'm saying? It's GMing for his life. And so it's like right now you really wasted you really I'm gonna call it what it is. You probably gonna waste Dak's best year playing quarterback. You probably gonna waste it, bro. This reminds me more of the 8-8 seasons with Romo when it was 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. You probably gonna waste it because you made a decision in the Micah. I just felt like it would have been easier to build around Micah. I felt like it would have been easier to build around him than to try to do the Herschel Walker thing. You know what I'm saying? I think that it would have been easier to build around him. Somebody say, I think Cowboys Thanos said something about need a true one tech and a solid linebacker vet corner. Let's go. I love Al Harris. He hasn't been hired as a DC. Come on. We have to stop. Okay, I'm gonna put it right here. He got hired in Chicago, though. And Chicago doing better than Dallas. He got hired as their passing game coordinator. You know what I'm saying? But where I'll say this, Cowboys Thanos, and I'm gonna fight you on that. I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. The Cowboys aren't no players away, bro. Eberflus stinks. He stinks with what they have right now. And there's no room to believe that he's going to be able to build. He's already been here, quite frankly. And Al Harris's tenure, he was better than Eberflus's tenure. And it's not even close. It's not even close. You know what I'm saying? It's not close at all. Nah, Dak has not had better years than this year. Hell no. I don't think we watching the same football. Hell no. This year, Dak is leaps and bounds better than any other year. I think before last week, I don't think ever the whole national media was all on the same page about how good Dak has been, except maybe his rookie year. But as far as the command that he's had with how easy the game looks, hell no. He ain't never had no George Pickens and see it look easy when he come up to the line. And then he got a run game too. Hell no. It ain't never looked this easy for Dak. It looked like Dak is playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. Except for last week. Denver, for some odd reason, is just a thorn in the Cowboys' side. He just is. But other than that, I mean, Dak this year, hell no. At one point, bro, I think maybe the full game, I forget how many touchdowns, but no picks. Hell no. Hell no. Dak, yeah, this is it right here, Tuck. This Dak's golden year. Absolutely. I mean, I'd even put this up there with one of Tony's years. It's kind of like Tony's honestly, I compared the offense to 2014. This is the last time that I saw that the run and the pass, I hate using this term, but married each other. The run and the pass married each other and they were moving up and down the field. 2014 was probably, I don't even think 2016 was like that. I think 2016 it was a good team, but as far as both sides being there, like at one point in 2016, Dak couldn't throw over 200 yards. 2014, I felt like Dallas could do whatever they wanted to do. Philadelphia said Dak didn't get it done on his rookie contract with a better roster. What makes you think he's gonna do it with a big boy contract and can't build a team for him because of his contract? Well, that's their fault. Again, that's their fault. But they don't know how to deal with money, Philadelphia, because many teams do it. You know what I'm saying? Many teams do it. It's about look at the drafts. And I look, we obviously know Philadelphia is an Eagle fan. And Philadelphia just be throwing punches sometimes. You know, it is what it is, right? But I do think these are valid questions. Go back and look at the Cowboys drafts. As of late, they're not reaping any rewards out of those drafts. They're not getting anything out of them for real. They're not getting any real impact. They might get a solid player or two, but as far as impact that's coming in lightning in the bottle, they're not getting that. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, they're having a hard time really retaining them. And they got a lot of walk-ons. They got a lot of undrafted free agents that they'll count as draft picks. But I mean, besides I think Pickens came in when they gave up that 4th-round pick. But shoot, they gave up a 4th for Mingo, and they have not collected off of that. They gave up a 4th for Colin Kaepernick Jr., Trey Lance, and they didn't reap nothing off of that. Hell, the Mozzie draft, they didn't reap nothing off of that draft except for Overshown, and I still don't think you can reap anything off of that because he's been hurt. Call it what it is. Overshown is a bunch of hope, to be honest. Let's keep it a buck. Very good player when he's on the field, but he's been in the tub. It's not in his control, but that's what it's been. You know, this whole defensive year has turned into wait till Overshown get back. What y'all expecting him to do? What y'all expecting Overshown to do with his knee in that Stone Cold Steve Austin brace? What y'all expecting him to do? Be Superman? It's crazy. Yeah, Calvin, he an Eagles fan, so it's easy to say that. And it's funny because they can kind of say that because Jalen Hurts, limited as, won the Super Bowl, and they built a team around them and it worked. So that's why they can say that. And that's why I'll be like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Howie kind of, he on a run right now. Howie on a GOAT run. And even with that, Philadelphia looking like a terrible football team, they still got a good record and they're still looking to fight for home field. And it's really hard to win games in Philadelphia come January and February. It's extremely tough to win there. So although it looks ugly now, and at a certain point last year it looked ugly, and at a certain point, when I think it was it what was the other year that they went to the Super Bowl? But that year at a certain point it looked ugly. Just they still collect ugly ass wins, and for them it's about being able to play home playoff games. Kansas City has figured that out too. Kansas City don't care what it looked like. They just be winning games, and then they try and get the home playoff games with the home crowd, and they get a lot of practice at winning ugly ass games because for the most part, what are playoffs? Ugly ass games, and whoever can win the turnover battle, the field position, all of the little things that add up, they're gonna win. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Let's see. Man, we got a lot of people on Instagram too, man. If y'all want y'all comments read or whatnot, kick to the YouTube and we out here rapping. Kelvin like he Eagles fan. The football knowledge thing. I mean, bro, quite frankly, and I don't blame them. They don't have to have the football knowledge because their GM is going to go build a good football team for them. In Dallas, the fans have to have a good knowledge because if you don't have a good knowledge, you're going to believe all of the bullshit Jerry and them tell you. Bro, it's been gaslight season. They've been gaslighting the hell out of people, bro. They've been gaslighting the hell out of people. And I'm just sitting back like, damn, bro, I used to fall for this. I used to fall for this gaslighting. Damn. They just gaslighting folks. People just believing anything they say and fighting amongst each other and all of that. Damn. I tried to click another tab. Okay, Philadelphia says, let's be real. No ESPN talk. Jalen Hurts been in 2 Super Bowls. He already earned his contract. His 6-2 record right now is just just him giving us our money's worth. I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. Now, they got some disgruntled receivers over there They got some really good players over there. They got a young team on the defensive side. You know what I'm saying? They got a young team on the defensive side, but they got what I talk about all the time, championship DNA. And if you look in the Dallas locker room, you ain't got none. Where's the championship DNA? Who's won something in that locker room? Who's won something on that coaching staff? Who's won something? On the offensive side of the ball, I think that they have a good direction. I'll say that. I think on the offensive side, there's a good direction. But on defense, God, it looks really bad. It's so bad on the defensive side, bro. It's so bad on defense. I don't even know how it got there. I don't know how it got there. I can't think of a team that has constructed a defense this bad ever. Ever. I mean, dog, they drafted all these corners, and you running out a guy named Bridges. You running out Bridges as a starter, bro. You know what I'm saying? What happened to Seatbelt Carson? What happened to him? You can't even run him out there, bro. Is that bad? Damn. You know what I'm saying? The safety room could be better. I know Tuck saw Caleb Downs get that pick today. I know Tuck is waiting. Tuck is waiting for y'all to try and talk him out of Caleb Downs. I know Tuck is waiting for y'all to try and talk him out of Caleb Downs. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna talk Tuck out of Caleb Downs. And quite frankly, might be with the defense. I think yeah, I don't believe that, Suds. I don't believe that the Cowboys don't go far in the playoffs because they quit. Because you still get checks for the playoffs. You get checks per playoff game. So that's not true. You get playoff checks. Yeah. JC can't talk nobody out. Hey, bro, you ain't look, listen. I know I'm gonna be in Pittsburgh. I'm gonna be in Pittsburgh for the draft. So yeah, we talking about it now, and I'm going to make that a thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make that a thing. Caleb Downs, yeah. Don't let draft fatigue fool y'all this year, because a lot of people got draft fatigue on the Mecca Buka, and we knew he was a dude. We knew it. You know what I'm saying? We knew a Mecca was a dog, and people created dumbass things to try and say what they tried to they because they saw him for 3 years. They were like, no, this person's better because he's got new tape, so he ain't got no flaws. We've seen everything with the Mecca, and there's no real ceiling. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Whittington said Carnell Tate is going to be just as good. I can't wait to really talk about it. I know me and Tuck was talking, and hopefully we could put together this draft show in the off season, like a really, really good draft show. But Tuck said something earlier. He said something earlier about the final word. And I think that JC was like, what happened to the final word? I don't know what happened to the final word, y'all. I don't know what happened to the final word. But what I will say about the final word is that with the final word, there was structure. There was honor amongst thieves then. Like, and I'm not saying that, we're thieves or the content creators, thieves and all that type of stuff. But what I'm saying is there was some type of structure. Right now, there's anarchy everywhere. You know what I'm saying? There's anarchy everywhere. So I think that I don't know. Like, it's not up to me. I'll go wherever I'm invited. People want to bring me on their shows or whatnot. You know, At the end of the day, I'm gonna do that. I'm also still gonna do other content too. I'm still gonna do football content on. Uh, I didn't do a running back thing this week, but I'll get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like life got in the way this week, y'all, and that happens. Life got in the way. But today I got a little bored. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I was sitting in the crib. I was like, I ain't got nothing to do. I don't really feel like watching football. Kids is upstairs playing games. The wife and daughter are out doing cheer stuff. You know what I'm saying? Competitive cheer is a thing. They might have just popped in the house. I think I was just waiting for them to come in the house so we can go grab something to eat. I was just like, let me talk to the people and let me see what how the people are doing and what they think. You know, because I've tuned out a lot of the headlines. I've tuned out a lot of the negativity. I've tuned out a lot of the easy I guess the easy points to drive on. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really done any shorts on stuff like for example, like I did one on the Trayvon stuff and then I just kind of left it at that, which, you know, that is what it is. You know, they're trying to figure out some stuff on that side. You know, I could easily do some stuff like, oh, well, look, Micah got this amount of sacks. Not gonna do that. He had Green Bay. It is what it is. Maybe it'll be a football discussion one day. But, you know, right now, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I kind of don't even like where the state of the NFL is right now. I kind of feel like even with that, it's not just the Cowboys. I feel like storylines are just they're trying to create a whole bunch of storylines because they're trying to attract a different type of fan. I think that they're trying to get away from the diehard. I think they're trying to get away from the diehard and make this game a lot more commercial. They're trying to make this game a lot more commercial, less tradition. The tradition of what the NFL used to be is really leaving this game. You know what I'm saying? Like the two Monday night games or you know, I mean, we're getting more games, but I'm actually getting a little worn out. My oldest son always talks about the NFL. He's just talking about the NFL constantly, constantly, constantly. And he was just like, they should have a game on Friday night. I was like, no, the hell they shouldn't, bro. No, the hell they shouldn't. You know, because at one time, Sundays and Mondays were sacred. And I kind of like the Thursday idea. The Thursday idea was cool, but then when you add two Monday night games, it's like, all right, man, it's getting goofy out here. It's getting kind of goofy. Carl Whittington said Sonny Styles is another Ohio State player that might be an interesting draft prospect. Yeah, but not in round one. That's okay. You know, I'll keep that in mind. I have not gotten to college yet. I do know that Tuck has started. I know that Foots has started. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet because here's the thing. I know that a lot of stuff is going to change. It might help for the sake of being familiar. It might help for the sake of being familiar with these guys and maybe that's something that I need to do. Just go through a list of guys, of players, and figure out who's who. Then that way, when it comes down to breaking down tape and stuff like that, then yeah, we're good there. But you know, it's going to change. You know what I'm saying? At this time last year, Shador Sanders was the number one quarterback on everybody's board, and he went down to the fifth round for we know the reason, but he went down to the fifth round. So it's like the projections and all that stuff now, they don't really mean anything because come draft time, so much is going to change. You know, there's somebody right now, and I'm not even going to say at HBCU because Tuck was telling me I need to go to the HBCU and do some groundwork, and I might do that. But There's somebody right now, maybe at Fordham, or somebody at BYU, or somebody on the West Coast that ain't getting seen like that. That when it come draft time and it come draft show time with Broadus and all those guys, or Bobby Belt, when everybody starts doing their draft analysis, those guys do a very good job. But when everybody starts doing their draft analysis, and when Dane Brugler comes out with his lists, you know what I'm saying? Because Dane Brugler comes out with his mock drafts and his big boards and all that type of stuff, things are gonna change so much. And then we look at it right now. Let's just be honest. It's just November. It's November 1st. So there's still a lot of college football left to be played. There's still a lot of it's still a lot of real estate when it comes to football. Yeah, JV Boy said Memphis is being ignored. Yeah. Or I'll tell you somebody that's being ignored right now, probably. And they've had good teams the last 2 years. Indiana's staring right at you. They're ranked number 2. And Indiana, I don't never hear about Indiana players being high draft picks or whatnot. They had a good quarterback last year that I thought people should have took a look at. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe this year we'll change the tides when it comes to Indiana. Shout out to Ola Adams. Shout out to him, and shout out to my guy Justice out there. You know what I'm saying? I know some guys on the coaching staff. Those guys are doing a hell of a job over in Indiana, man. Shout out to y'all, man. I should have went to the Maryland game today. Should have went to the Maryland game, but some things flipped through the cracks. I was supposed to be at another school, but that's why I'm at home. That's why I ain't doing that. That's why I had some time. Yeah. Indiana is exposing some scouts. They surely are. And Penn State was supposed to be what they were supposed to be this year. And Penn State, you know what? Sometimes Penn State is the perfect example of this. Penn State is the perfect example of this is why you play the game. Right? You look at their team on paper, you look at what they did last year, you look at what they had coming back. Penn State was supposed to run this damn table, and Penn State was supposed to be contending for a national championship based on what they had coming back. They even had the coach. They ended up firing the coach, and then they lost 5 straight, and then they lost to some people they wasn't supposed to lose to. They lost to some people they weren't supposed to lose to. So that's the perfect example of why you play the game. Perfect example. And do I feel sorry for Penn State? No. No, I don't. I don't feel sorry for Penn State because the game's got to be played. Either you win or you lose. It's as simple as that. Now, they have a lot of draftable players, though. I ain't going to sit here and hold you. You look at that backfield, they got 2 backs that are going to get drafted. They got a linebacker in Tony Rojas. Tony Rojas should be a top 10 pick. I don't know if Tony got hurt though. So we met Tony out here. Tony is a local kid. He from the DMV. He actually from Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Me and my son, we secretly root for Tony Rojas. Okay, so I think he got an injury. I don't know what happened per se with him, but Tony was hopefully it's not that bad. Like I hadn't been following. Hopefully somebody in the chat had been. I'm saying they said hopefully for a speedy recovery. I don't know what happened. Maybe he pulled himself. I don't know. But this is what I'm gonna tell y'all. What's up? What's up, Henny? What up, my guy? What's up, Henny? This is what I'm gonna tell y'all about Tony Rojas. I'm gonna put his name in the chat because I want y'all to hear it from me first. And I'm look. This is an example. Tony Rojas is a 6'2", 225-pound inside linebacker. So remember where y'all heard it first, because DMV told y'all. Tony's supposed to be a top 10 pick, bro. And I hope that the injury ain't that bad. I hope that he pulled him. I hope that he decided that, I'm gonna enter the draft. Tony runs a 4.3, y'all. And he makes a lot of plays. He makes a lot of plays, and he can rush the passer too. I knew that from high school. I actually coached against Tony. My first year of being a coordinator in high school, Tony played at Fairfax High School, and I coached against him. And he was one of the premier pass rushers. He was one of the first high schoolers that I'd ever seen with bend, like a natural bend. And Penn State made him an inside linebacker. When I tell you that the kid, I think in the spring he ran a high 4.3 at Penn State, and you guys know that Penn State. He I don't know what his NIL is, but I do know that he I trust me, he probably getting paid a lot of money to stay. Probably getting paid. He probably got paid a lot of money to stay, for sure. But Tony, local kid, Tony's been on the big stage. Number 13 for Penn State. Tony is going to be, when he goes through all of the drills, and if he's able to do a combine or a pro day and all that type of stuff, he gonna fly up the boards for certain. He should fly up the boards because he's a legit 4.3. Legit 4.3. He was a 4.5 in high school. He put on about 30 pounds, and now he's a 4.3. And that's not something that I'm making up. You could look that up on yourself. You could look that up yourself. But I want to say he ran like a 4.37 in the spring. His mom posted it, and I'm friends with his mom on Facebook. So y'all remember that name. But that's the type of draft coverage that we hope to bring this year. I know that one of Tuck's, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Tuck's draft babies right now are going crazy. Going crazy. I don't know anything. Hey, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anything about anything right now. Typically, throughout the year, I don't watch a whole bunch of college football because during the draft season, I like to be fresh. But I'll look them up though. I like to be fresh. That's typically how I do it. Like I don't look at prospects or where they're gonna be and all that type of stuff. Typically, when I'm watching the game, I'm just watching the game. I know about a couple of players and stuff like that, but I'm not there yet. I like to go down the list with the fresh perspective, if that makes sense. And that way I can say, okay, I think he's better than him, or I think he's better than him, or this is my list and this is how I line it up and all that type of stuff. But because I honestly think that's what happened with a lot of people in the Mecca Egbuka. I think that's what happened with him. I think that a lot of people saw so much of him because they watched a lot of Ohio State that when they saw new people, I think that's what happened there, and they just got tired of him. You know, meanwhile, you look at Tet. Tet's on the West Coast. You don't see a whole bunch of Tet, and unless he makes like a crazy catch or something like that, then you go to his film and he's fresher on the eyes than the Mecca is. You know what I'm saying? When Emeka is probably the better day one prospect. Where I think that Tet has a higher ceiling, but day one, when you're looking at day one prospect, I don't think that anybody who in their right mind would have told you that he was a better day one prospect. You look at him and you say you draft Tet for the ceiling and also for the production too. Though he had production, yes, for sure. And this is what I told Foots at the time about Emeka. I was like, man, you already know what he is in the big game. Yep. I remember that too, Henny, because that was the guy that I was like, if Dallas get a receiver and it's not Tet, because I would have taken Tet too. I probably would have taken Tet. I would have taken Tet over Emeka if they were both there, just because I was like, Dallas needed a true X, which is proven with Pickens. It's proven with Pickens. But Emeka, yeah, if it wasn't Tet, then it would have been Emeka for me. You know what I'm saying? So Henny and my dog landlord, bro, do fantastic work. And Henny had probably one of the best draft day reactions of all time when we got Tyler Booker. When Tyler Booker, bro, one of the best draft reactions ever. I hope somebody clipped that. It was hilarious. But yeah, hey Henny, bro, hit me up, man. I definitely want to do some work with you and Landlord for sure. When y'all be going on, man, I definitely want to tune in. My man flipped the whole table, dog. Hey, look, when he found out Tyler Booker before anybody, and all of a sudden his screen just froze. He just cussed and just flipped. I don't know if he flipped the table or not, but I imagine he did though. That was funny. That was hilarious. Oh my god. But yeah, man. I just wanted to get on and talk with the people. I just wanted to, do some work. Y'all let me know if y'all do like these Saturday, if this Saturday slot kind of works. My son's football season has kind of ended. And I know on the 22nd, we got a college visit lined up for the 22nd. We might have some more, but if I got some time, man. Hey, bro, where you been at this whole time, bro? You just been sitting. What's up, boss? Salute to you, my guy. Salute. Salute. Hey, boss, here go the funny thing right here. You remember this hat right here? Hey, y'all remember this hat right here? I had this ordered specially. I made this right here. By the way, if y'all want one of these, y'all let me know. Y'all hit me up and let me know if y'all want one of these. I had these made right here because I just knew Dallas was getting the RB1 in the draft. I knew it. I was just like, yeah. I was like, Dallas about to get an RB1. Let me go ahead and make this RB1 hat. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen. Tried to tell him, boss. Tried to tell him, bro. Sometimes it's called foresight. It's not a I told you so moment. It's not a I told you so. But Javonte has turned out to be a good RB1 for this team. I still think they could have drafted a guy. I still think they could have drafted somebody, but it is what it is. We just gonna watch them not sign Javonte, and they're gonna be in the same predicament again because Javonte, his price has now gone up. Javonte's price has gone up drastically. Yesterday's price is not today's price. I told y'all, bro. Yeah, look, I know. Look, I spent all this time talking about it's not a I told you so moment, but I knew Dak was going to throw the ball a whole bunch. I knew it. I knew it. And they still running though. They running the ball well right now, but Dallas can't run the ball when they need to, and that's a problem. I don't know if y'all have noticed that. Javonte has a good yards per carry. He's running efficient for the most part. But whenever Dallas needs to get like a 4th and 1, a 3rd and 1, or they need to be able to run the clock out, or they need a run, they have not been able to do it. So, thank God for George Pickens. Because if they didn't have George Pickens, bro, they might be looking at an offer right now. They might be looking at an offer. Thank God for George Pickens because Dallas definitely has trouble running when they need to. But they're good they're good inside the 5 though. So that's a good thing. If that makes sense. Inside the 5 they're good, but when they need to run it situationally, they have not been good at it. They haven't been good at it this year. You know what I'm saying? If they need to slow a damn game, like for example, they weren't good last week. They needed to be able to slow that damn game down. Like, because, and honestly, if you look at it, the way that defense is, you need to probably need to be running the ball more because scoring points ain't really it. I told somebody this, I forget who it was. I was like, yeah, okay, when CeeDee come back, cool. Maybe they score a little bit more. You're still putting that defense on the field. You putting the defense back on the field. That defense. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to slow the game down a little bit. You got to be able to slow the game down. And it's like, why do I say that? I say that from a coach's perspective. I say that from a calling a plays perspective. On that side of the ball, they're not good. They're not good. You need to score points. But at the same time, you got to be able to control the tempo. You got to be able to control the tempo. And also, too, you want to be able to wear the other side down. You want to wear them down physically. You can't wear a team down physically when you're throwing the ball a whole bunch. You can tear them up. You can whoop them in the air. You can whoop them in the air, but you know what I'm saying? Like physically grueling and wearing somebody down throughout the course of a game. Dallas has been able to put up points, but they don't know how to wear nobody down. They ain't wearing nobody down. You know what I'm saying? They just scoring a whole bunch of points. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, I made this hat for that damn purpose. Might need to make another hat. I don't know. But boss, hit me up, man. Let's do some work. Let's definitely do some work on this RB discussion, man. You, me, you, and Lou might need to sit down like we did before when we was watching some film and stuff, and we do some work. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. You know, I'm at a point now where I think that I can probably I probably can dive into the discussions and stuff now. I'm at a point now. You know what I'm saying? To where it's not from a fanhood, but from a point of view where it's like, hey, I'm looking at this from the scope, from the lens, and this don't make sense because so and so doing this over here, and it might make more sense for Dallas to do this over here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I needed to take the step away. But yeah, y'all, the old lady came in with my daughter, so I'm gonna go spend some family time, y'all. But I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, look, if you want to send some super chats, that'd be great. Also, shoot your boy Cash App if you feel the need, if you want to keep supporting the channel and all of that. I just wanted to get on here, talk to y'all. Got people on Twitter. We got people on Instagram. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out.